Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So let's listen to this together, and I will comment at the end of the video.
And I must say, and I want Nigerians to know, that if not because of the outcry of Nigerians, Bola Ahmed Tinubu was not interested in attending to this case. Same with the governor. They want people to die, you keep quiet, they don't protest, they bury them and they move.
Okay, now this is getting quite interesting because you are raising many talking points. So you think the president wouldn't have bothered,
yes,
if not for the outrage that the viral video that was made by VDM?
Not necessarily VDM. Okay. Yes, it traveled and all that. But before VDM even started, people have attacked social media. And you know what is sad? Even before the president of the country made a statement, a pope outside of the country was already talking about Benue. Is it not a shame? But even before the pope, Nigerians have flooded social media with hashtags, and they were doing. And I personally, I cannot count how many tweets I made, and in all my tweets, I was calling for the resignation of the president. That is a normal thing to do. When your people die, there's a minister of health in Germany or so, and people died due to COVID-19. He resigned. It's not his fault. It is an infection that blew up in the world. He still resigned. But here people die. People have been dying since Bola Ahmed Tinubu came into power. Amnesty International released some lists. Instead of them to acknowledge, they were still trying to tell them it's false and other people have been dying in Benue before now. People have been dying in Kaduna. People have been dying in other parts of the state. But no, they didn't solve the problem. He didn't talk about it. He did not go visit them. But because the outcry was so much, the shame was why they did this. And remember, they didn't respond until after 48 hours. No president, no responsible leader does that.
Okay, now in the course of your intervention, you said something about government not being happy with the protesters, people that protested.
Of course.
And there was some kind of infiltration. Yes. Now you have been on the trenches, for a while now. You're a young man, so I wouldn't say for a very long time.
Yes.
You've been there for a while, with all sense of modesty.
Yes.
Now, can you share your experience with us? How many, does it look like, how do you know that government has infiltrated a protest?
So basically, a lot of things that government do when they hear protest. So many. They have many strategies. And one of the strategies, or one of the popular strategies, is to send thugs to attack protesters. Now, when this talk to, of course, we know who we are protesting with. Some of them can stay within the ground, but many of them, we know them because we have been on the street for a long time.
So even when they are embedded within the crowd,
yes,
before the outburst, you already know them.
We know them. Okay. Now, so when they start bringing problems, where we try to take them out of this place, oh no, we don't need you, the police will not come in. Now, the police is not coming in to prevent the talks.
So it's like a script.
Oh yes.
It's like a decoy.
Of course. The police is not coming in to prevent the talks. The police is coming in to make sure you stop the protest. So they're not going to arrest the talks. They're not going to, no. It is either they pick one or two protesters and they fire tear gas. That's what they do. What they did in Benue was that when the crowd divided into two and the crowd was reduced, they started shooting at them, also throwing tear gas at them. That's what they did for the protesters in Benue. And shamefully enough, one of the government aide who was so pained and attended the protest, he was suspended by the governor. And imagine, so they don't even want people to cry. People are saying, we're not going to carry arms, we're not going to defend ourselves in any way, but we want you government to be responsible. No, don't call for responsibility. Just die, cry, and evacuate. Do you know the first thing they did? When people died, they sent buses to take people out of their own hometown. So people are going to be internally displaced people in their country. We have over 600,000 in Benue already. Benue alone, if not millions. So people are going to be internally displaced, and you are happy of their achievement. And to make the matters worse, these terrorists that attack these people camped around the village for weeks. Over 300 of them. The people called, the people won, the people cried, the people called the government, and they did not do anything. They didn't go and stop them. They saw them. They didn't do anything. There was no army or anything to stop them. And on the fateful day while they were enjoying the rain, taking shelter, they were attacked. Failure of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the government of the
president. Okay, now I'm happy that you also brought it to this point where we are now talking about the president. Now, do you think that the president's visit will make any difference? Given the fact that, well, he's been there, we understand that he's giving orders. Like he also said, look, community leaders, look for a way to solve this problem. You know, it's a conflict. And Nigerians are asking, what kind of conflict will this be? So do you think that the president's visit is just public posturing for the optics? Is it going to make any difference that he is there and is there alongside the Chief of Defense Staff, the IGP of Police, Inspector General of Police, and the Chief of Army Staff, who's been there for about 10 days now? In all of this, do you think it will make a difference if they don't get to the root of the problem?
I will say something, and I need Nigerians to understand. When we give analysis like this, it's because of how we have studied the actions of governments in the past.
Tell me more.
Remember, Buhari was here for 8 years, and there was Benue attacks, and he didn't solve the problem. Same stories. And why? And Oba, our king, I don't know what they call them in Benue, but a royal man.
Is it the third chief?
Yes, he spoke in that program, and he told the president, face off, that all what you have been saying, especially in your speech, is not what is happening in Benue. It is planned, clear, genocidal attack, like a cleansing. He said it. But they want to reduce it to conflict. Of course, there are community conflicts.
Okay.
But communities will not just carry guns and start shooting themselves. It is people that are used.
I'm sorry, when you say it's community conflict, is it?
I said they are. I'm not saying specifically that this, but they are community conflicts.
Okay, there are. Okay,
even in Lagos, people have issues in their community.
All right, I get it.
But they don't just pick gun and start killing themselves.
Okay.
So, but when people that are citizens tell you this is what is going on in our community, we have people camping and they are headers men with arms, and they are camping around our community, and we called you to come stop and this solve the problem, and when it not happen, you are not telling them it's community conflict, you have a problem. Now, can the visit of Bola Ahmed Tinubu solve this problem? The answer is yes and no.
Okay.
Now, why is it yes? It is yes if we have a security system that is working. It is yes if we have a security system that is not compromised. I can tell you that our security system is compromised. You listen to the spokesman of the army saying he thinks, was talking about the clashes in Benue. He was thinking. So we have a DSS, they don't have information on what exactly is going on, they are still thinking. We have army, they know what is going on, they are still thinking. The police don't know what is going on, they are still thinking. Security agencies, like the people that attack citizens are ghosts and spirits. When the citizens themselves have intelligence, they are experiencing it for years now. So when you have an army that is still thinking, and the DSS that is not stopping actions before it happens, nobody needs to tell you that you have a compromised security forces, highly compromised and corrupt. And if you have that, they cannot stop the problem of insecurity in the country. They cannot. Now, can the president deal with that corrupt security system? Of course, but he will not. Because the priority of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not Nigerians. From the past 2 years that he has been president, if you have seen those that have been dying, if you go to statistics, his priority is 2027. On how he can get back to power.
His priority is 2027.
Yes.
By 2027, who is he going to rule over if all Nigerians are killed off?
Well, Buhari did it. People died in their numbers. People died like chicken in this country. Throughout Buhari's, and what was Buhari's language? And Oshimaju, we bear with us. We consolidate with you. He even said one time, he said, we are now done with pitying the terrorists. When we strike them, they never struck. It was lip service of tweeting. For Buhari was quicker to always tweet. You know, his handlers were good in tweeting faster than
okay.
8 years.
Okay, is there a connect? Is there a connect between what the former president did and what this current president did? You said security has been compromised.
Yes.
You say if the government wants to solve the problem, they can solve it, but they will not solve it because they have 2027 on their radar. The former president, at a point, he said, look, if you don't want to be killed, donate your lives. By his spokesperson, Femi Adesina. Now we have the current president saying, look, community leaders, look for a way, find a way to resolve this problem. Do you smell any form of agenda? You said it is genocidal, that the governors, that the third chief said it is genocidal, that is ethnic cleansing. Do you smell an agenda from where you sit?
The agenda that is clear here is that the politicians will protect what will make them to continue to be in power. That is the agenda. They will protect. Bola Ahmed Tinubu declared state of emergency in Rivers. Nobody died. He declared it. Nobody died.
So you think
but
that
he has not declared in Benue.
You think that what's going on in Benue is about local politics?
Of course.
Local politics.
It is as politics. It's about land grabbing. It's about resources, and it's about making sure some people are comfortable so that you can continue to be in power. It is clear, because why will we allow? I'm going to give you an example of Togri in Lagos. Okay. Very clear example that people in Lagos can understand. Why are the thugs in Lagos always protected? Why can they do what they like? Why can they brandish weapons? Why? Because the politicians need them to continue to defend their votes. Simple as ABC. It goes on all over the country.
All over the country.
So the person in power, who is also an APC man like Buhari, can never be strong on solving the insecurity of the problem when those people that are causing it are the people that they also need, either their leaders or them. You remember, this week, there is a militant in the north that was having community meetings and the armies were there.
Let's talk about it in some seconds, because I saw the soldiers, two of them, right? Two of them.
Yes.
No, those people, do they look like Nigerian soldiers to you? Or, I mean, you and I can walk into the shop now and get a camouflage, a camo, and wear. So those people, does it look to you as if they were Nigerian soldiers?
No, this is not the first time.
So what were they doing there at that moment?
This is not the first time. There have been many terrorists that have had meetings, even with governors in this country.
No, we understand.
Yes.
You know, when terrorists hold meeting with governors and we have an intermediary like Sheikh Ahmad Gumi and all of that. But in this case, we had, you know, somebody who was saying, look, if you keep calling us terrorists, we'll keep terrorizing. And I saw two soldiers in that video. Two people, not soldiers, that wore camouflage. Do you think that those people were Nigerian soldiers?
They are not Nigerian soldiers. The Nigerian army should release the release. Okay. But the people, Nigerians will not be surprised at this, because this is not the first time. Okay. This is not the first time. So the security forces are compromised. The security forces are not ready to smash and end terrorism. There's, let's manage you. You were having meetings with them. The spokesman of the army was on an international TV saying there was a group. We thought they would be gentle. We're having meeting with them. Before we know, they are having meetings with terrorists.
Having meeting with terrorists.
Yes.
Exactly. You mentioned land grab. Now, do you think that there is an ideological underpinning that fuels all that is going around insecurity? When you say that, look, we have governors, you know, we have government people having meetings with terrorists, and we have intermediaries, and nobody is brought to book. Nobody's career is damaged in all of this. Is there any form of ideological underpinning that fuels this kind of crisis that we are confronted with?
Whatever ideology that might be, it's definitely an evil one.
Okay.
You know.
But do you think there is one?
There should be.
Okay.
Why? And why am I saying that? Because obviously, some politicians are not so much. There's no. You understand? 200 people dying. There's no real agitation towards it. It should not be we citizens that should be complaining. It should be the senators and the House of Rep that are representing people and say, my people just died. Look at this. But you can say that all of them are quiet and all that. If they are watching when to talk, how to talk. Because somehow they are connected to it. You understand? Somehow they are connected to it. If not, your people should not die like chickens, and you need any explanation to demand justice for them. So our security forces are compromised. The politicians are playing politics with the life of Nigerians, and the party involved, they are not straightforward with Nigeria. So my clear analysis to Nigeria is very simple. Why there is a solution? Why the president has power to solve the problem? He will not.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We dance around it.
We've talked about the problem. Now let's get at the solution. What role do you think that the governors can play in all of this? You know, if you understand Nigeria and its security architecture and apparatus, you know, who wears the power, the architecture and all of that, whose hands is it in and all of that. Do you think that the governors can play any meaningful role in the fight against insecurity?
Of course they can.
Okay.
And this is the first step. First, they should stop playing politics. You have gotten to power, you're now the governor. It's your work that you do in the first term that will determine whether people will vote for you. You have an edge already over whoever is coming to contend with you. because you have opportunity to work, then do the work. And what is the work? There is a clear problem of killings in your state. The governor has to go to the community. The people to solve the problem of, you don't solve the problem behind the people. You don't solve the problem over the people. You solve the problem with the people. So sit down with people. Don't send boss and drive them out of there and say, just go for some time and let them go to IDP camps and they'll be rotting there. You sit down with them, okay, this is the problem, outline the problem, present the solutions that the people are giving to, and sit down with your security forces, let them put there and say, okay, the people are saying this and this is what we should do. Can we do it? Can we do it? Okay, this is what we can do. The one we cannot do, we push it to the federal government. And we make it public that we have pushed this to the federal government to have the entire power of controlling the armed forces. And it plays like that. That's one. That's security condition. And there's an economic condition. Most of the attacks and all that, we also have that it is resource grabbing, that they want to control the resources of the community. What resources is there? Who is trying to get it? Investigation to be done. And these people should be exposed. That is on economy. And when you have been exposed, when you get resources, let the resources of the community work for the community. Equip the local police. Every town in this country has a police division. Are they equipped enough to protect that division? Every division in your community is supposed to protect you. That is their work. Are they equipped enough to protect? Why are they not equipped enough? Are there not resources in the state? Those are the three actions. The security agencies, meeting with the people, the economic situation, investigating the root cause. And that's the work of DSS, by the way. DSS are supposed to be they are the secret security agency that's supposed to know things before it happens. But DSS will never know that. They only know protest before it happens. And they start announcing and saying,
now you are coming to your community. They always know when you want
they always know when I want to. Something that we tweeted, everybody saw. They'll now make a very spurious press release. There are some people that are supposed to cause mass problem. What mass problem? Because we want to protest. But they are not doing their job. People are dying. Failure on DSS.
Okay, so clearly the problems are layered. There are ones that the communities, the governor, and the president can take.
Of course.
We don't get efficient response in all of these things. So does it look like Nigerian government is just one thing, at all the levels?
Nigerian government, Nigerian leaders are not responsible. We need to know that.
At all levels?
They are not. They are not responsible. So when the leader is not responsible, the people will suffer. But the worst form of suffering, hunger is terrible. You feel it. We are human beings. We can bear it small. There's even a saying that you can live 10, 11 days without food, as long as they are drinking water and all that. So that's how much we can bear.
Some people don't even have water to drink.
No, that's another thing. There's no water in Lagos.
Okay, now we are running home. We are coasting home. Now let's get into the state of things in Nigeria. As an activist, what direction do you think that we are traveling as a nation? As a people, as a nation, and as a people? What do you see?
What I've seen is that Nigerians, a lot of things are going on, but Nigerians should not, even though they are, many of us, are going to a state of hopelessness, which is very dangerous. Hopelessness because the economic condition continue to go down.
Economic condition going down?
Continue to go down the drain, and people are hungry. Have you seen people in this Lagos? Have you seen people picking food from dustbin?
Did you listen to the president when he delivered his midterm?
I don't like it. I prefer to take short clips for my mental health.
Okay.
If I always praise those that sit down live and listen to it, because they are never solutions. You see a president of your country complaining back to you. You see a president of your country giving himself a scorecard that does not exist. So I try to take few clips, small clips, or I just read it. It's way better.
So did you see the president say, look, that we are making progress, that Nigerians are happy with what he's doing?
Where is the happiness? We are the one on the streets. Who is happy? Of course, the politicians that they are sharing money, the Senate president, you can see him laughing everywhere, like almost like a drunkard, It doesn't look like a Senate president, just like a joker, saying people should continue to protest, they will continue to eat. So the politicians are okay, they are enjoying, but the people, the 200 million Nigerians that are going into serious extreme poverty, the out of school children where Lagos is leading the number, and the hunger, the students that cannot pay their school fees dropping out and school fees keep on increasing, and the massive insecurity and kidnapping. Buhari Tinubu should stop saying Nigerians are happy.
Okay,
we are not happy.
I like the picture. I like the picture that you have painted, because when you walk the streets of Nigeria, when you walk the streets of Lagos, you just painted a picture of what you see. In all of this, how would you describe the Nigerian people as a collective? Are we resilient people or are we a docile people?
Nigerians are resilient.
Okay.
But we need to harmonize our resistance. Now, when you are resilient on your personal life, say, well, this country is like this, I'll get what I can get from wherever I can get it. Or this country is like this, let me find a way to just live. Nigerians are doing so well out of the country. Some people will go outside. I listened to a man that worked in Canada, worked for almost 10 years, was okay, moved to the US in Nigeria, worked again for almost 5 years and settled down. The resilience to build, we have it. But we are losing hope on harmonizing that resilience to solve the problem of our own nation. So it's just solving my own problem. So when you solve your problem, Nigeria can still happen to you. Insecurity can happen to you. You are dead in seconds. The healthcare can happen to you. You are lost already, you know. So we need to harmonize that resilience because people are losing hope in the country. You see that in the election process, they don't want to come out. When you tell them about Nigeria, they say, oh, just leave them to continue to stay. If people just go to church and want to pray out their problem. You know, so Nigerians are a country of hopelessness is very dangerous. Such a country and set off without any notice.
Okay. Now you are in the trenches. Why is it difficult for Nigerians to form a solid resistance against oppression?
That question is very...
What do you see?
You know, even when they begin to...
So especially in a cosmopolitan city like Lagos here, what do you see?
So what I think has been done over the years to that unity to fight is the politicians have intentionally divided the people along ethnic and religious lines. Intentionally. So when you are even trying, and they throw in money also to some people will fall for it. Many, let me even because of hunger. You know, let me even put that three: hunger, religious line, and ethnic line. So when you even try to unite another, they just throw in one statement and say, oh, it's Igbo, no, it's another. So people begin to divide themselves. So because when you don't have anything to hold on to, you hold on to your religion, you hold on to your tribe. This is why I am. Even though you are hungry, you still say it's me, the hungry Yoruba or Igbo or Hausama. It doesn't matter. Whatever tribe is, you're hungry, you are hungry.
Okay.
You know? So that has been the problem, and hunger. And that keep on dividing, you know. But hunger was a catalyst in France.
Exactly the point. Yeah. I wanted to ask you the question. Shouldn't hunger spur people into action? So why is it different here? Because if you studied revolution, it was bread. It was bread. Russian revolution.
Yes.
Look at what happened in Tunisia. You know, the guy that had to self-immolate himself, Mohamed Bouazizi, and all of that.
Yes.
You know, it had to do with oppression and hunger. So why is it that the hunger here? Because a lot of people say that, look, Nigerians are not yet hungry. That when they are hungry, that they will act. So why is that hunger not spurring Nigerians to action?
I think Nigerians are hungry, but I must be frank. When you suffer from Monday to Friday, and you also are so tired, when you get to your religious center on Sunday or Friday, whichever it is, you get another renewed of your mind. You know, they renew you, they make you happy, they tell you everyone is coming. So I think it's a social engineering.
Okay, so you think religion plays a part?
Oh, it is. Why religion has this advantage of keeping people with morals and all that, it's also like it's society. I see religion as just a social, just like a social gathering and all that, keeps people together. It also helps to reduce people fighting spirit.
Is it like an opium?
Yes, opium of the masses. That is it. You have that's the word. So you suffer. Don't worry, you are going to heaven. Don't worry, it can happen. So they show you one brother that made money. You know, he suffered. They give you testimony. So you keep on looking at that person. Me too. I also make it. It is terrible. But we in the trenches, like you said, we don't stop with educating the masses. And we're not going to give up on our society.
Okay,
Nigerians will revolt. Nigerians will get things better. We need better. We have good leaders.
We just have to get them. Nigerians will revolt. Is it a fiscal revolution or revolution of the mind? Because we actually don't preach that kind of violent revolution.
No. When I mean revolt, I don't mean violence. You know, people misquote
of the mind.
Of the mind and phically. But physically, we are not saying revolution.
Go and burn houses.
No. If I want to say burn houses,
to account.
Yes, I'm not. If you want to say burn houses, I'll say go and do what the militants are doing, go and do what terrorists are doing. It's violence. It's pure violence. Go and carry weapons. But revolt is that revolt against a system that's putting you down. Say no, a turnaround,
Okay.
a change of things. That's all. I give people an example. The power of no. If you are in a community and a local government chairman is messing up, and all of you in community say no, you must do better. No, it will stop. It will sit right. Can one person stop 100,000 people, 1,000 people? There's no. Do you know how many security forces do we have in this country? They are not up to 1 million, all of them. Army, police, soldier, all of them. And you have 200 million Nigerians that are saying we are dying, enough of it dying, and they shut down the country for 1 month. Dying must stop. You will do it. You will solve the problem. You know, so Nigerians must evolution of their mind, saying turn around of things that are not good, and also they must do it physically. Our boots must be on the ground. There's nobody that got freedom by praying. Nobody got freedom by begging. All the freedom that we have gotten, that our forefathers have gotten, they fought for it. This generation.
Okay. No, I like the way we are progressing. You said something, but I would like you to deepen it. I would like you to emphasize more on it. You've been organizing. What is the value of protest that you've been organizing? I ask this because some Nigerians believe that, look, protests can never work in Nigeria, given what NLC has done over time, given what Showore has done over time, and the fact that there's some form of clamp down, you know, over time, especially with this administration. Do you think that protests still have value in Nigeria?
Yeah.
And that it's going to solve any problem anytime soon?
Even as young as I am, let me use that word.
Okay.
I've led many protests that I've begun to start losing count. And I don't think my activism journey has entered into 15 years, probably 13 years or 14 years.
Okay.
You know? And many of those protests, we have solved many problems. I can begin to mention some in the community.
So you think there's a value there?
Of course, we solve community problems, we solve state problems. But to solve the problem of the society in general, your leadership problem, your system problem, a day protest will not do it. It is a civil revolt against the system. And you cannot organize that with 2 people or 20 people or 300 or 30 people. It has to be a mass action, you know. So, but having said that, the reason why we continue to hold the streets and use the street to hold the government accountable is that the day you surrender the street to the people, to the government, is the day you lose your power. And so when you keep on coming out, you keep on telling them, I am still a citizen. I'm not going to surrender my birthright to you. My right of freedom, my right to speak, my right of association, my right to protest. You cannot afford to surrender it, because if you surrender it, it will take everything from you.
Guys, you guys can hear it for yourselves. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Please. You heard what he said. You cannot do a protest for everyone that has been shouting protest, protest. You cannot do it with 10 people or 20 people. It has to be civil revolt. That's what he said. But anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you on my next one. Bye.